Hello everyone. My speech will be a bit interactive, so please answer to the questions. They are not rhetorical questions. Have you ever heard of the expression, find your voice? Yes. No. Now you see. I came across this expression, finding your voice, when I started my public speaking journey. The next question, are you familiar with the story, The Little Mermaid?
Yes.
Either the original story, the classic animation, or the recent live action adaptation. What did the Little Mermaid trade with the sea witch to be able to walk on land?
Voice?
Yes, her voice. Here's another intriguing question. You are not the Little Mermaid, and you haven't given up your voice. Then why did you have to find your voice? Your voice is as unique as your fingerprint. It's a powerful reflection of your identity. Remember the time when people still call to each other, not with Zoom, Skype, or FaceTime? You just hear the other people's voice for the very first time without visual aid. You have all the imagination of is that a male, female, child, or adult. And you can also sense what that people sound like. Is it sad, happy, excited, likable, or not so likable? You have that grasp assumption of one identity just through hearing their voice. Indeed, there are studies at the University of Göttingen. They show that the person with deeper voice tend to be extrovert, dominant, and more interested in casual sex. Your voice resonates your identity. That's why you have to find your voice, the voice that truly reflects your identity. Now you have learned why it's important to find out your voice. Now let's see what it actually means. Finding your voice is a self-discovery. This is the process where you know who you are at your core and be aware of the outside influence. And through that, using that voice to express your opinion, ideas, experience in the way that is true to yourself. How many voices that I have found in my journey of finding my voice? Remember the title? Yes, 3. 3 voices. Thank you. Would you like to also find your 3 voices?
Yes.
Please say yes. Yes! Thank you. Yes. But before we dip into those 3 voices, let's get acquainted with some terminologies of the nuances of voice. The rate. How fast you speak. Is it slow or is it fast? Volume. Is it loud or is it quiet? Your pitch. Is it high or is it low? It's your pitch. Your tone. Is it sad? Or is it happy? Is it boring or excited? So those are the building blocks of your voice that you're going to use to convey your ideas, emotions to the words. Let's find your first voice. Have you ever heard your own voice through the recording and generally like your voice?
No.
I'm not aware. I didn't like my voice also. And I always thought that this is my voice, I'm born with it, I stuck with that voice, right?
Yes.
Wrong. That is not your natural voice. To find out your natural voice, let's take a trip back to your childhood. You can close your eyes to facilitate the process if you want to. Imagine your childhood self. What is that child sound to you? Be honest. Get to know the voice, that younger voice sound. Listen to the voice without judgment. Take a moment to listen to that voice. Can you hear that childhood self voice? You can open eyes and go back to the present moment. Hello! This is me in the garden. I'm cooking some pasta with soiled branches and some leaves. That is my authentic voice. That is my natural voice. Thank you, Slade. That's your first voice, authentic voice. Do I sound gay to you? I didn't know that I sound different from the other kids. And you know, kids are the most brutal, honest creatures on the planet. When they have opinions, they make sure that it's heard. So when I speak in the class, they immediately imitated my voice, and the whole class burst into laughter. And then they also make sure that their message is well delivered and received with a little bit of physical bullying. I got it. I sound gay. You probably might not have the same experience quite like mine, but perhaps someone has commented about your voice, of being warm, velvety, powerful, or just boring, croaky, flat, or even just loud. I'm not saying about Italian or Spanish. But that is your natural voice. You are born that way, no matter what they say. However, we live in an interactive environment here. You picked up other people's voices, like your parents, siblings, school teachers. And your childhood self start to pick out the sounds that is likable, acceptable, and which is not. Then the childhood self of you start to enhance those qualities that are acceptable, likable, and silence the one that's not. Then you have found your second voice, your habitual voice. Back in the 90s, living in that homophobia environment, I tried to adapt or change my voice to ease other people's ears. What's the gay voice sound like? It's characterized with the fluctuation of pitch and variations in tones. So to ease other people's ears, I tend to lower my pitch and limit the variations in tones. Also eliminate body gesture and reduce emotion expressions. I try to keep everything under control and to reach to the vocal expression that I possess the straight male persona with low pitch, monotonous voice, minimal body language, and no emotions. That is when I speak Vietnamese, I feel safe that way. And they say when you speak a foreign language, you possess a different personalities. Heard of that?
Yes.
It's true. When I speak Estonian, I got different personas. I entered different realms of vocal expression. Once upon a time, I went to a local butcher shop to buy some beef. I already located the correct package I wanted right there in that corner. I pointed to that and I said, "Tere palun kon kilo." Then the butcher, which means it's half kilo, palun kilo, which means half kilo. The butcher didn't take that package. He took something else and started to put packages on packages. I was so confused, and I repeated as 1 kilo. And he's like looking at me and says, "I'm doing this, dude." He finally stopped and said 1 kilo, which means 3 kilos. When I speak Estonian, I tend to lower my volume and I just mumble the words without clear articulations. And even worse, I usually speak faster. As a beginner of the language, I tend to be insecure and inconfident when speaking the language, and it sounds like that when I speak. But do I want to appear perceived as insecure, boring, and lacking confidence when I speak? Of course not. Do you? No. Thus, when you command your third voice, the trained voice. But this voice, you don't find it. This is all about bringing your authentic voice and habitual voice together in harmony. Thinking back about your childhood voice, what do you like about that voice? What other people said about that voice? On the other hand, your habitual voice, what aspect of that voice you appreciate? What qualities of that voice other people appreciate? Because your habitual voice, it's just a result of a series of learned behaviors. And if it's a learned behavior, it can be unlearned. And you need to adapt to a different way of speaking it. Try to learn knowing your voice. Spend time and space. You have to give time and space for yourself to really understand your voice intentionally. Listen to your voice and pick out what elements, what qualities that you like, and what qualities that you want to diminish. Finding your voice. With my trained voice, I have found that my authentic voice, I like it that I can fluctuate in the pitch, I show my emotions, but within the habitual voice, I want it to be under control. So when you find your trained voice, it's like you are upgrading your habitual voice, but still attach or reflect your authentic voice. In conclusions, that finding your voice is a process of self-discovery, self-expression, and self-acceptance. That is the process you will find the three voices: authentic voice, habitual voice, and the trained voice. Does it look like T, H, A, yes, and I? Time. Represent to you the three voices. I have found my three voices. You can find your three voices too. And when you've done that, let it bloom and will be awesome.
Oh.